exercise. How about that? We'll talk about exercise. A company that's been on quite a ride over the last year, Peloton. They're the maker of those cycling bikes and different models of treadmills. They're now recalling the treadmill models after more than 70 accidents, including the death of one child. 29 other situations took place where users suffered injuries like broken bones and cuts. So serious stuff.
Yeah, and this video actually very disturbing to be showing this early in the morning. But what does this actually mean for the company is the question. Joining us now to discuss is business and market analyst Seth Denson. Seth, welcome back to the show.
Good morning, y'all.
Seth, good to see you, y'all. On March 13th, 2020, let's go back. I'm playing. You could buy one share, a single share of Peloton stock for $19 on Christmas Eve 2020. So fast forward just a few months, it was up to $162 a share. Everyone was buying these expensive Peloton bikes. So they entered the treadmill market. They might have done so a little bit too quickly, and it's caused a whole lot of problems. So what's going on here with this company?
Well, there's a couple of things, Rob, I think you got to look at. First and foremost is let's just go back about a week or two or even 3 ago before this really all came to light. They were already facing some headwinds, right? So their share price had already dropped about 30%. Their market cap had dropped. And I think that was in large part two things. One is these things are expensive. I mean, these treadmills are about $4,500. So you've got a limited market capability there. The other thing was the world is opening back up. And so this idea of at-home gyms was already going to be a challenge. I think Peloton was trying to rebrand itself. Treadmills don't make up a ton of their market share. This specific treadmill is going to be about 2% of their projected sales this year. But nonetheless, now they've got an optics problem. Right? I mean, now most of the world has seen that video. As a father, that's horrific to see. But it's also important, I think, to note that you've got about 23,000 reported incidents with treadmills back in 2019. So while this is tragic, 8,000 of those incidents were with children back in 2019, unrelated to Peloton.
And Seth, the Peloton CEO, John Foley, did release a statement. It's almost as if they kind of should have just stuck with what they knew, those bikes that everyone was buying, right? Now, the statement reads, the decision to recall both products was the right thing to do for Peloton's members and their families. I want to be clear, Peloton made a mistake in our initial response to the Consumer Product Safety Commission request that we recall the Tread Plus. So do you think that Peloton would have benefited, A, if they had just recalled this product months ago, as you mentioned, they had those issues in 2019, or if they just stuck to what they were good at?
Right.
Yes and no. Again, I think that Peloton specifically, they've got an almost cult following. I mean, people getting Peloton tattoos, on this thing. So I don't know that recalling it earlier would have been a big shift. It certainly, from an optics perspective, would have helped. Anytime you've got children dying or being injured, you need to get ahead of that from just a PR campaign. Do I think that it would have made a vast difference? No. Again, remember, the vast majority of their revenue comes from their treadmills and specifically their subscription services. I don't know that we've seen a lot of that fall off since this, but again, they're walking back it originally. Is hindsight always 20/20? Yeah. I mean, if they were going to say it, they should have said it early.
Yeah, as soon as you say walking back, maybe they should have jogged it back just because this all sort of happened so quickly. My wife has one of these, Seth. And,
the treadmill or the bike?
So she's got the bike.
Okay.
And I tell you what, she's got the bumper sticker on the car. It's like a little cool P, so it's like kind
of...
of...
No, everyone who has one has to post it online as well, has to post every time they're sitting on it.
I do the workouts. I don't do the bike because you can do the app workouts clearly. No, I'm kidding. I've done it for like a year and a half, and I've managed to put on not 1 ounce of muscle. But Seth, do you think this is a blip on the radar for the company? Does Peloton survive this?
I think they survived this. Now, again, I don't know that we're ever going to see it back in that $167 a share price, which is what high was back in January. We might. They're a young company. They're innovating. They have that cult following. Those are all good things. A big chunk, about 25% of the revenue, comes from subscription services. That's huge because that creates massive profit. I don't think they're going away, but certainly with competition, things opening back up, and the sheer price of their product, I think that the market cap may not be what it once was.
All right, Seth, let's switch gears a little bit. We've heard about some people maybe not doing the at-home workouts, actually just sitting at home on the couch, making more money, living off the government than they were before the pandemic. Do you think it's time that we end the enhanced unemployment benefits, just speaking of business, market analysis in general? Do you think it's time people really get back to work and, if they want to get back to the gym or do their at-home workouts, they can do whatever they want?
Yes.
Yes. So that's your
I'm with
answer.
you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, yes. And listen, we talk to small businesses all the time. So what we do here at GDP is we represent a lot of them and work with them. And they're telling me all the time, Seth, we can't get people to come to work.
Right.
And again, I don't want to fault those that are sitting at home. They're making a financial decision not to do so. So
Isn't
it's
that
not
something?
like this
They
is just,
are. They're making more money
Yeah.
sitting at home. Yeah.
Absolutely. But here's the problem. We've got to open back up. I'm not saying that those that don't have access to a job shouldn't have some support as a result of this, but that's not the vast majority at this point. The vast majority of jobs are available. We need to put work requirements back in and not just give a free-for-all for people to sit at home.
Seth, there was a job fair in Atlantic City this week, right? They had 150 open jobs, 20 people showed up. Like, when would that ever happen? Right? That never happens.
In a
They're
time
always...
when so many people need jobs.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a sign
And
of the
small
stock market
businesses,
doing well,
guys.
but yeah.
Yeah, small businesses who are really kicked by this pandemic, and they're the ones who are struggling the most. Restaurants, small businesses, to get people to come back.
I applaud the governor of Montana ended the enhanced benefits. He said, listen, nope,
Yep.
back to work, get a job.
That's right.
All right, Seth. Good stuff as always. Good to see you, my friend.